We'll start in the American League, and the starters that were named a few days ago, the reserves were named on Sunday. But the starters at catcher, Alejandro Kirk, first base, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., second base, Jose Altuve, third base, Rafael Devers, shortstop, Tim Anderson. In the outfield for the American League, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, who is the leading vote getter for the American League, and Giancarlo Stanton. That was a tight one. Came down between him and George Springer. At designated hitter for the American League, Shohei Ohtani beats out Yordan Alvarez by mere percentage points. It was like 1 or 2% difference. It was wild there. So those are the starters in the American League. Now, for what was all announced on Sunday, all the reserves and all of the pitchers coming at you from the American League. We'll start with the pitchers. Shane McClanahan, because of course, best ERA in baseball, or best ERA in the American League. Nestor Cortez, Alek Manoah, Framber Valdez, Martin Perez, Paul Blackburn, Garrett Cole, Shohei Ohtani, and Justin Verlander. Shohei Ohtani, now back-to-back years named starter in the lineup at designated hitter and named a starter as a pitcher. The first time in history that a player has ever made the All-Star game as both a pitcher and a hitter, and Shohei Ohtani has done it in back-to-back years. I say it all the time. I'll say it again. Appreciate it. My brother, Justin Verlander, also on this list. He is now a 9-time Major League Baseball All-Star. This one, almost as sweet as any other. This is probably the sweetest of all because he's been out for 2 years. He's 39 years old. He's doing things that are, quite frankly, unprecedented. No pitcher has ever come back from Tommy John surgery at this age and done what he is doing. Now he's doing it and he's getting the recognition for it. He is an all-star. He will be out here in LA in just over a week, and I could not be more proud. This was fairly certain. You never want to count your chickens before they hatch, but I pretty much knew Justin was going to be an all-star. But when his name was officially announced, well, I was told, when Justin called to tell me that he was an all-star, that was pretty special. And it was just, another moment that gave me goosebumps and something that I will never forget. 9-time Major League Baseball all-star. So those are the starting pitchers. On the reliever side, Clay Holmes, New York Yankees, Emmanuel Clase of the Guardians, Gregory Soto of the Detroit Tigers, and Jorge Lopez of the Baltimore Orioles. All right, now on to the reserves. So the guys that didn't quite make the starting cut, but they are still officially Major League Baseball All-Stars. Yordan Alvarez, of course, he's the best hitter in baseball right now. Jose Ramirez, Miguel Cabrera, who is in via the legend clause that Rob Manfred picked. Jose Trevino, Luis Arias of the Twins, Andres Gimenez of the Guardians, Xander Bogaerts, the Red Sox, George Springer, who narrowly missed out on starting, Byron Buxton of the Twins, Andrew Benintendi of the Royals, Kyle Tucker of the Astros, and Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. I am so pumped that Julio Rodriguez made the All-Star game. As a rookie, as one of the biggest prospects that we've seen probably since Fernando Tatis. I know that's not that long ago, but Fernando Tatis has shown that he is a superstar in the game. Julio Rodriguez is showing that he is a superstar in this game as well. What he has meant to that team that is now on a roll and just outside of a wild card spot can't be stated enough, and I am so happy that he is an All-Star. I was thinking that there was a chance he didn't make it and that his first All-Star game could come next year when it's actually in Seattle, but I am pumped he actually did make it this year. So those are the reserves, the pitchers, a lot of first-timers on here, most notably probably Shane McClanahan, who has a good chance to start the All-Star game, Julio Rodriguez, who I just mentioned. But yeah, this is a good list, but there are a few snubs that come along here, and some that really were tough to swallow, honestly. First and foremost for me is Ty France. Friend of the pod, just had him on. Thought it was a certainty that Ty France would be an all-star, and he's not. He was a finalist So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. ends up winning the vote, but that was over Ty France. And honestly, Ty France deserved to win that starting spot. He just didn't get it because he's not Vladdy Jr. But Ty France leads all of American League first basemen in batting average, on base percentage, OPS, WAR, and he's playing a Gold Glove caliber first base. Bob Nightingale, who I like to call Bob Nightingoat, tweeted this: Mariners first baseman Ty France, who's hitting .310 with 10 homers and 45 RBIs and an .851 OPS, was not selected by his peers. He likely will be among the first alternates with injuries this next week, including Yordan Alvarez's hand injury. So I do think this is important to note before we get into all of these snubs, but it's still kind of frustrating that these guys weren't in originally. But some of these names, if not most of these names that I'm about to mention, are hopefully going to get in. Ty France hopefully gets in, but he's a big-time snub. For me, probably the top. Next up for me, Dylan Cease of the White Sox. 5th lowest ERA amongst qualified starters. Top 10 in WAR. 2nd in K rate. I mean, how does Dylan Cease not get added to this? Dylan Cease has the 5th lowest ERA among qualified AL starters. Top 10 in both FWAR and BWAR, and is 2nd in strikeout rate. His strikeout rate is so high that despite having the highest walk rate, he still has the 3rd highest K to walk percentage. And he was not named a Major League Baseball All-Star. Okay, let's take statistics out of this. If you just don't even look at what Dylan Cease has done this year on the pitcher's mound and just look at his mustache, he should be an All-Star. Period. Plain and simple. Top-tier mustache, and he should be in the All-Star game. Another for me in the American League, Michael King. Michael King of the Yankees has been the best or second best behind Clay Holmes reliever on a New York Yankees team that's been the best team in baseball. He should be in. And Taylor Ward, last for me in the American League. I could go on and on and on, but I'm just going to do the top ones. For me, Taylor Ward not getting in, what he meant to that Angels team at the beginning of the year when they were off to such a hot start and looked to be a really good team. We learned that that isn't the case, but Taylor Ward deserves the credit for starting the year the way he did. Kind of frustrating for me, but injuries played a big role here. And I honestly fear and think that Ty France, the injury, it's the timeliness of this. Ty France probably would have started the All-Star game, but he wasn't healthy during the voting, so he didn't end up winning that. But I also think anybody that is an All-Star game finalist after Phase 1, you should automatically be in if you're a finalist. Automatically. Ty France should be in because he made it to Phase 2 of the voting. It was him and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You should automatically be in. That's my rant there.